It was 1998. I was home for a few weeks during the summer before my junior year of college. I can see some of you already like, 1998, junior year, no. I know, thank you. Moisturizer. So Katie, my best friend, had come over to hang out, and we were gonna do whatever it is that we did back then. And she walked in and she said, Brian and Neil are gonna come over and swim. Cool. Brian was her boyfriend at the time, and Neil was a friend of his. I had met Neil a couple weeks before at a diner, and our first encounter involved us sitting on the same side of a booth, where he quickly learned that, one, I hit people when I get excited, and two, I hate same-siders. Like the people that sit on the same side of the booth and they leave a totally empty bench on the other side. I don't get it. Like, do you turn and eat while you're talking? It makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, we had met. So the guys get to my house, they're swimming in the pool, and Katie and I are super cool and just sitting on the deck. I'm pretty sure I used baby oil as a tanning lotion that day. We were most definitely smoking cigarettes, though, because we were into all the cancers. My parents were out of town, and Brian asked if we had plans that night. So I said that my neighbor across the street was working at the beer tent of a local church picnic. And he said that if I didn't drive, he would serve me. So they agreed they would come with. The guys were 21. And I still see some of you out there doing some math on your fingers. And I really want to give you a hint, but I'm just going to let you figure it out on your own. So we go to the church picnic. No, we don't. First, Neil says. Neil says, after that, you're going to Rocky Horror Picture Show with me. Right. Does everybody know Rocky Horror? Okay, so old people know Rocky Horror. Do young people know Rocky Horror? No. So it's this cult classic from the 70s. It's a comedy. It's a horror. It's a musical. It's a comedy horror musical. But it becomes this big performance, and people dress up and they throw things at the screen, and there's props. It's interactive. It's a thing. It's an experience. So at this point I was like, wait, am I going on a date with Neil? Because that was a weird way to ask. And he didn't really ask, he just kind of told me. And I'm the one who does the telling. So I get nervous. Then we go to the church picnic. Have a couple of beers, nothing crazy at all. And then we decide to go to a bowling alley restaurant called Giorgio's. It's a restaurant in a bowling alley. I know, super classy. But to be fair, Old Orchard has good pizza. Right? Spicy sleeper, am I right? But I'm still super nervous, and I couldn't eat my dinner. And then Katie and Brian tell us that they're not coming with us. Hello? I know. So I'm still freaking out about whether or not this is a date with this guy, and then I find out that we're going by ourselves. And the show's in Chicago, and we're in Joliet. So that's like 45 minutes. That's serious car conversation. So we leave Giorgio's, and Neil says, we need to go back to my house to get some props. Okay. This show's interactive, right? So we get some playing cards, toast, like bread that we put in the toaster, a newspaper, and then he asked if we had rubber gloves, and I was like, we're good, we have enough, we're okay, we can stop here. But there's scenes in the movie where audience members throw things at the screen. You'd probably get kicked out of the Savoy 16 for that now, but I'll play along. So we drive up to Chicago. We're having a great time. I'm funny, he's funny, it's going really well. So I look over at this blue-eyed guy with his mullet. Yeah. With his Hawaiian shirt. And he smells like Marlboro Lights and Old Spice. but the stick deodorant, not the aftershave. Yeah. And I straight up ask him, because this is how I do, is this a date or what? And he says that it is. So we park and we walk to the theater and we're standing in line outside. Let's just recap real quick though. So we were outside in the sun by the pool all afternoon. We had a couple of beers at the church picnic. And I was too nervous to eat anything. Y'all with me so far? Okay. So we're standing in line outside the theater, and I'm trying really hard to listen to Neil talk. But I'm feeling a little woozy. So the next thing you know, I'm on my back, on the ground. And Neil is standing over me with this panicked look on his face. Holy shit, I just passed out. I get up and I am beyond mortified. I was like, no, oh my gosh, isn't that weird? I'm so fine. It's totally fine. I'm good. Good. But then I wake up to blackness because I passed out again. But this time I landed on my face. Yeah. So now I get up. I have scrapes on my forehead, on my knees, and Neil is like, what is happening with this girl right now? And a really nice guy had run to the liquor store down the street, and he brings back a Gatorade talking about my electrolytes, and it's gonna make everything better. And it was the 90s, so we took things from strangers back then. So we sit down on a bench, and I'm sipping my Gatorade and replenishing my electrolytes, and there it is. A big old ambulance pulls up in front of the theater. Paramedics jump out. We heard there's a girl who passed out and wouldn't get up. Okay, first of all, clearly I got up. I'm drinking my Gatorade. Second of all, my parents are out of town. I'm in Chicago with a guy they don't know. And if I get in that ambulance, they're gonna find out and kill me. So I order this guy that I'm on a first date with to go send the paramedics away. I know, it's going so well. We still go into the theater. You guys, we brought toast. And it can't get any worse, right? Right? So we walk in, and there's my cousin Lauren. And I haven't seen her in years. So we freak out and we're hugging. I'm like, so good to see you. Were you the girl that passed out that they called an ambulance on? Yeah, that was me. She's like, have you ever been here before? No, it's my first time. You're a virgin? What? She goes, I'm really good friends with the MC. I'm gonna go tell him. And she runs away. Wait. What are you telling him? So the show is starting, and I'm picking gravel out of my forehead. And the MC comes on stage, and he asks if this is anyone's first time at the show. So Neil starts hooting and hollering and pointing at me, picking gravel out of my forehead. So the MC says, all the virgins to the stage. Oh, okay. Tonight, I'm a virgin. Yes, tonight I am. So my cousin drags me to the stage. I'm up there with a few other people. And the MC walks over to all of us, draws a big V on our foreheads with black marker. Like, right over all the scrapes and blood and gravel. And then he has us do the pelvic thrust on stage. Yeah. Does everybody know the pelvic thrust? Yeah. Should we just show you the pelvic thrust? Get up. No, everybody get up. Get up. We've done this. We've practiced this. Y'all ready? So you put your hands on your hips. You pull your knees in tight. Look at Barbara sitting over there not doing the pelvic thrust. And then you do the pelvic thrust. And then we were sent off stage to enjoy the rest of the film. And during the movie, Neil pulled this classic yawning stretch move. So I snuggle in, and he looks at me, and I'm not even making this up. He looks at me and he says, "We're gonna tell our grandkids about this someday." And I've been Mrs. Neil Ryan for the past 18 years.